As I explained to your audience today, I see crypto as much more than just a new asset class, but really a new architecture of finance, a new way of establishing who owns what and who's transferring what to whom, using the internet as the basis for establishment of that value, as opposed to the individual balance sheets of proprietary institutions. It's a new architecture, a new protocol for establishing value. In any commodity market, the price of the underlying commodity is actually not set in the physical or the spot market. The price is set in the derivative markets. Mature derivative markets are essential for price discovery because it's the one place that all the buyers and sellers can come together to agree on price. That's why the price of gold is not set in a jewelry shop. It's set in the derivatives market. The price of wheat is not set in the grain elevator. It's set in the derivative markets. The price of oil is not set at the gas pump. It's set in the derivative markets. So establishing well-functioning, healthy derivatives for crypto will provide a solid basis for price discovery and price setting for crypto.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here today. You're not going to want to miss a single second of this. We've got massive moves shaking up the market. Ripple dropping $1 billion bombshell, a trader locking away pocket change for 3,000 years, and Michael Saylor hit pause on Bitcoin buys even as prices dip. But here's the thing, something feels off. The crypto space is buzzing, prices are swinging, and yet there's a quite tension building. Like we're on the edge of something huge. What's really going on? Well, stick with me because I'm diving deep into these stories, unpacking why they matter to you, and showing you how to stay ahead of the game. Oh, and here's the kicker. Hang with me until the end, and I've got an exclusive sneak peek for you of Altcoin Pro University, our thriving crypto community. And this is where average, everyday traders are really leveling up their crypto game. So you're not going to want to miss that. Plus, we'll be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in crypto today. We'll be jumping over to the XRP charts and find out if our support is going to hold, or are we potentially dropping back to $1.50? Ripple's huge acquisition, a trader staked 5 cents SOL for 3,000 years. How much will it be worth? Michael Saylor stopped buying, and much more in today's video. And if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do here for you on this channel, make sure you subscribe today. And if you're feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and find out the overall health of the crypto market today. Currently, we are sitting at $2.45 trillion. We are down 2.23%.
April 15th, 2025. This is a huge date because it's the deadline for 2 high-paying tax credits that you probably haven't heard about, but you can still get if you take action right now. We've partnered with the relief consultants who are experts in the tax code who've recovered over $100 million for their clients so far. So if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, listen up so we can get you help and reach our goal of recovering $10 million for the Bull Runners community before the April 15th deadline. So here's how it works. If you're a business owner who had employees in 2021, then you qualify for an average $150,000 check from the Treasury and possibly more with the Employee Retention Credit Program. So if you were told in the past that you don't qualify, get a second opinion now through the link in the description below this video, because there are rules and regulations that have changed just recently. So there's a high likelihood that you do qualify now. And if you sold your business or you shut it down, you still qualify as long as you were active in 2021. So don't miss out. Schedule an appointment with the link below. Just click business owner with employees if it applies to you. There's also a second tax credit that also ends April 15th. So this is for the bull runners who are self-employed in 2021. So if you were a 1099, not W-2, and self-employment was your primary income, the Treasury check for this tax credit can go up to $32,220 with an average of $17,000. So if you were self-employed in 2021 and want to see if you haven't claimed this credit, which nobody has from our community thus far for some strange reason. We've been talking about this in several videos. I don't know, man. Maybe you just want the Treasury to keep your money. But if you want to get money back in your pocket, then schedule a consultation. Don't be lazy. Do this right now before April 15th through the link below. Just click self-employed if you think you qualify for both credits. Let the rep know on the call. And by the way, if you have your tax returns from 2020 and 2021 for this credit, it will be a faster turnaround for you. So have them ready on your call, and they can literally tell you if you qualify on your first call to get you paid. So if you need more money back in your pocket for this bull run, take action right now, click the link, and let's get you paid.
This is the first time we've been at these levels since November 6th of 2024. Fear and greed index coming in at 19. Yesterday we were at 17, and last week we were at 24. We have now officially reached extreme fear levels again. Our yearly low for 2025 of extreme fear was 15 back on March 10th. Altcoin season index sitting at 16, still continuing to stay flat as we go through this absolute horrible market trend over the last couple of months. Bitcoin dominance coming in at 62.6%. And the Bitcoin ETF tracker continues to sell off to the downside. Net inflows, absolutely devastating. As we saw a couple of weeks ago, we had 2 solid weeks to the upside. Last week, we ended up down $166 million. And this week already, down $103 million. Volume is definitely selling off in the ETF market in these institutional buyers. The fear of this trade war has definitely started to creep into the markets. What is interesting, though, if you've been paying attention to the markets, for 30 minutes, Trump administration announces something positive. It shoots up. 5 minutes later, they say it's false news and it shoots down. It just shows you how actually manipulated these markets are. It's really crazy to be playing in these charts. Taking a look at the top 5 cryptos by total market cap, Bitcoin is now all the way down at $1.5 trillion market cap, Ethereum at $178 billion, Tether at $144 billion, XRP barely holding above $100 billion right now at $108 billion market cap at number 4, BNB coming in at $79 billion. At the number 5 spot, USDC has overtaken Solana, with Solana being at $54 billion. Whenever there's a stable coin in these numbers, I always try to cover the actual coins, not just stable coins. So the top 5 now goes down to this top 7. Jumping over to X to find out the breaking news, what's happening right now. The DOJ just disbanded its crypto unit, announcing that they won't act as de facto regulators anymore. So this is really positive news. This also means that you have to pay very close attention in vetting the programs that you're getting involved with. You must do your own research. Make sure that the companies that you're actually potentially going to buy a coin is a real coin, not a pump and dump. If you are on the newer end of crypto, I would highly recommend joining us over at Altcoin Pro, where we help you learn the basics and advanced teachings within crypto. We got crypto foundations, building blocks, ironclad crypto security, Web3 navigation, diving into DeFi, altcoin research methodologies. Head over to bullrunners.com, get started now, because you're not going to have the DOJ on top of a lot of these crypto frauds like they were before. Now, the SEC will potentially help to alleviate some of that, but you need to become a crypto expert. If this is something you're interested in, something you absolutely love, and you find yourself looking at crypto every day, multiple times a week, make sure you head over to Altcoin Pro University, bullrunners.com, and join up today. Just in, this is the reason that we didn't have that continued pump today. Everything was going really swell, and then all of a sudden, boom, it didn't go so great anymore. Well, just in, the White House says an additional 104% tariffs on China went into effect today at noon. So China is going to be paying massive as far as these tariffs go. And unfortunately, the markets have responded in a very negative way today. As you saw, we've been tracking the Bitcoin ETF tracker. We have huge news for XRP fans because XRP ETF buys are open on Charles Schwab. Soon, the XRP ETF purchases and outflows, inflows will be showing on CoinMarketCap. And as soon as that happens, I'll be covering those for you every single day as well. In the biggest Ripple news of the day, today, Ripple announced the acquisition of Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. One of the largest deals ever in the crypto space, but the pricing tag isn't just what's most important. It's this deal marks a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for crypto to access the largest and most trusted traditional markets and vice versa. We even have it posted from official Ripple as well. Today, Ripple announced its acquisition of Hidden Road, $1.25 billion, becoming the first crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker. Today, together, Ripple and Hidden Road are bringing the promise of digital assets to institutional customers at scale, bridging traditional finance and decentralized finance in ways never seen before. David Schwartz also weighing in on this. Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road is a defining moment for XRP Ledger and XRP. The prime broker clears upwards of $10 billion and processes over 50 million transactions a day on various traditional rails, waiting up to 24 hours for those transactions to settle. Now imagine if a portion of those activity on XRP Ledger, and that's exactly what Hidden Road plans on doing, not to mention future use of collateral and real-world assets tokenized on XRPL. And in other massive news happening in crypto, HBAR partnering with NVIDIA. NVIDIA's regional VP of engineering just posted this. NVIDIA just announced an integration of Hedera Hashgraph HBAR into its AI system, a powerful combination that could reshape the future of decentralized AI and enterprise blockchain applications. What does this mean? Hedera's fast, secure, and energy-efficient public ledger now provides real-time, verifiable data integrity for AI workflows, which will be a game changer for industries such as healthcare, supply chain, finance, autonomous systems. Why it matters? Well, verifiable trust in AI-generated outputs, decentralized data provenance at scale, ultra-low latency, and carbon-negative architecture. NVIDIA's move signals a growing trend of blockchain and AI converging, where they are no longer competitors but co-drivers of the next digital revolution. The future of AI is not just smart, it's decentralized, transparent, and secure. And NVIDIA, one of the largest companies in the world, partnering with HBAR. Also coming out today, we got WhaleFud posting, Ripple believes the UK has the potential to become a global crypto leader if it acts swiftly to implement clear and comprehensive regulations. Now, we know the United States is implementing its regulations right now. If the UK gets on board as well, now you have two of the largest countries banding together in the Ripple ecosystem. Absolute amazing stuff coming out. Ripple predicts tokenized assets will skyrocket to $18.9 trillion by 2033. And as you saw in the introduction, the prices of cryptocurrency will be set in the derivatives market. And if you guys remember, we covered this a couple of days ago. Coinbase Derivatives now has XRP futures, but also XRP ETF buys are open on Charles Schwab. So amazing, amazing things happening for XRP. Obviously, the market liquidity is exiting. As we can see, liquidity is definitely exiting. I just wanted to show you a visual as well, because we're down at $2.5 trillion, $2.45 trillion, right? We were just up above 3 trillion at 3.72 trillion. So we've essentially lost $1.25 trillion of liquidity in the market. That will come back. It doesn't just disappear. People just sold and took profits. And now we're waiting for that to start flooding back into the market. So let's talk more about this acquisition of Hidden Road. Hidden Road is a prime brokerage and credit network with more than 300 institutional customers. On a typical day, it clears more than 10 billion and processes more than 50 million transactions across traditional rails. Ripple has long touted XRP Ledger as a scalable platform for real-world assets, having partnered with crypto exchange Archax to launch a tokenized money market fund back in November. However, until now, tokenization on the XRP Ledger has been minimal. Industry data tracks only 2 real-world assets on XRP Ledger valued at roughly $50 million. The value of on-chain real-world assets has grown by 9.2% over the past 30 days, bucking a general downtrend in the cryptocurrency market tied to global growth fears and tighter financial conditions. Over that period, the number of asset holders increased by 6.2% according to RWA XYZ. The real-world asset will be a multi-trillion-dollar market by 2030. Here are the future predictions. We have McKinsey & Company, $2 trillion of tokenized assets by 2030. Citi says we have $5 trillion by 2030. BCG says there will be $16 trillion of illiquid assets by 2030. And Standard Chartered just came out and said $30 trillion of tokenized assets by 2034. So congratulations to Ripple and their amazing acquisition. Some of the people out there are talking trash about this acquisition being so large. The $1.25 billion that they had to come up with to buy Hidden Road came because they were selling their XRP tokens on the retail holders. Let me know if you agree with that in the comments section. In an interesting strategy, a trader has staked 5 cents of Solana for 3,000 years, and here's what it will be worth in 5138. The unknown user staked 5 cents in 2023, and it will unlock in 5138 Here's the actual screenshot of it. So we got the staking unlocks November 16th of 51.38. Sol is currently trading for $102. A January report, asset manager Bitwise predicts the token could reach 2,300 or 6,000 by 2030. It's impossible to know staked Sol will be worth by the time it's unlocked in a few thousand years, but Lou says it would be likely significant. Staking Solana for over 3 millennia, to put it into perspective, 5 cents compounded annually at 3% annual interest rate would already result in over 486 undecillion, 486 followed by 36 zeros after 3,115 years. Users on X are speculating that the stake could be an attempt at creating generational wealth or a random stunt with no real long-term plan. And it's got to be a stunt. It's a funny stunt. Maybe that was their last 25 cents and they just wanted to lock it up. The 3,000-year nickel play on Solana is a meme trade that would one day be stamped on the Sol blockchain. What will 3,000 years from now look like? Will humans still be around? Will the Solana blockchain? Such a long time horizon makes one ponder one's place in the scheme of things. At the moment, depending on the platform and validator of choice, Solana can offer between 5% to over 8% in staking rewards. Meanwhile, Cardano gets around 2%. Ethereum also gets around 2 and 7%. 4 Solana whales recently profited over $200 million in a staking play that began in April of 2021 when they staked 1.79 million Solana, worth $37.7 million at the time. A similar unlock is expected in 2028. So there is no actual true number of what it could be worth because you can't look that far into the future. And could Solana still be here? But it is an interesting strategy. The guy's a legend now. Michael Saylor's strategy halts Bitcoin buys despite being below 87,000. In a filing with the SEC April 7th, Strategy announced it made no Bitcoin purchases during the week of March 31st to April 6th. The decision followed a week of heightened volatility. The Bitcoin surged to as high as 87 after starting the week around 82. Strategy reports an unrealized loss of $5.91 billion in digital assets in Q1. And as we know, Strategy, Saylor says, Bitcoin is most volatile because it is the most useful. Saylor wrote on his X post on April 3rd, soon after Bitcoin tumbled intra-week high of 87 down to 82, following the tariffs announcement by President Trump.
Volatility was a gift to the faithful. It scares away the tourist. It scares away the lazy. It scares away the people that are already conventionally rich, that have all the money. If you're a 20-something or a 30-something and you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to spend 100 hours or 200 hours, if you have more time than money, then the volatility of Bitcoin is a gift to you. If you have more money than time and you're arrogant and egotistical and you just pick the obvious, then if the volatility goes away, you buy Bitcoin. If people in the rest of the world knew what I know and they understood and they agreed with me, Bitcoin would go to $10 million tomorrow. And if Bitcoin went to $10 million tomorrow, I want you to think about how you would feel and how your viewers would feel, because you would lose 20 years of stacking opportunity during which you get to buy at less than $10 million. So the difference between $10 million and 100,000, that's what you give up if the volatility goes away and people start to agree with you.
Checking in on the XRP charts. So what we've been talking about on the daily charts is this 4-hour area of interest, which comes to us back from December 1st. And we said that we needed to hold this level. And unfortunately, we broke down, but we recovered where the body of the candle is still there. And today, unfortunately, it looks like we may potentially lose this with the body close. It'll be happening in the next 5 hours. So the important thing to watch is this $1.85 level. If we lose $1.85, there is a real potential of dropping all the way down into $1.46 range. Now, the other thing we talked about is this trend line that started to develop for us from February 14th. And we got above it on March 15th, held it for a little while. And unfortunately, this trend is significantly to the downside. It held, and then we broke below it officially April 6th. So couple things need to happen right now. We need to hold $1.85. We need to break back above and actually claim this area of interest as a support line. This is at $1.90. That is also one of our very important spider lines that comes to us all the way back from January 15th of 2018. So holding this as a support level is extremely important to do right now. As we zoom in on the daily charts, it is not looking very strong. We'll drop down to the 4-hour. It's trying to hold this level. Our short-term momentum wave has now capped out at 100. Our long-term momentum wave is bearish on the 4-hour. The daily has been bearish all the way since February 4th. We need to break above this level, the zero line on the Wolfpack trade indicator, to indicate getting bullish again. When we turn on our moving average ribbons, we got the 10 exponential moving average. We haven't seemed to break above. We got the 30 and the 50. This is on the daily. When we look at the weekly charts, it actually came down and nearly bounced off of the 50 exponential moving average, which is currently coming in at $1.58. So $1.58 would be a level of support for us. If we lose that, like I said, it may be coming back into this range of $1.45 and $1.28. Fear and greed is extremely low. Markets are looking bearish. We continue to get lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Maybe we get a rebound, which would be nice, break above the 10 exponential average. But we do have to break back above this $2.42. Really, we need to break above $2.50 for us to resume a bull market for XRP.